Alright, welcome to the video, guys. So I thought I'd start off in the studio today just because the footage that I took for the intro for this video quite a while ago, this was actually filmed back in December and right now it's March, so I've been taking my time producing these videos, but the footage that I recorded then, I had just woken up, it was 3 in the morning, and I was just completely out of it explaining what I was doing for the shoot. So I'm going to go ahead and explain it a little bit better and hopefully give you some good context for the video. So on this video, I'm heading out to Lamington National Park with my good friend Michael and my good friend Julian. And in particular, I am going to be shooting some infrared photography as well as some IR chrome photography. So a few videos ago on my Lamington National Park trip, I was shooting in infrared with this filter right here, the Hoya R72. And I was under the impression that it would give me some really nice red leaves. I was completely wrong. It gave me black and white photos. I was just being a bit of an idiot. So we're not going to be using this one today. What I actually ended up doing in the last time between then and now is I picked up a full spectrum converted camera. So this one right here is an NEX7 system that's been converted by LifePixel, and they've taken out the IR blocking filter on the inside of the sensor, which means it lets in all spectrums of light, including ultraviolet and infrared. And this particular filter by Kolari Vision, which is called an IR chrome filter, lets in different spectrums, including visible light, as well as a little bit of infrared. And what this does is it gives you these really nice red, rich leaves, while still retaining most of the natural colors in the scene, but it only modifies any living plant matter. So you'll see further in the video what exactly I mean by that, but I'm really excited about this system because I've been shooting for it for a few months now because I'm just releasing this video now, but it is truly amazing what the possibilities are with this system. So I'll leave you guys here, and the next clip that you see will be when I was driving off to Lamington and getting some pretty nice photos. That's a bit of a spoiler for you. It's going to be a good day, and it's going to be a long one with plenty of photos. So stay tuned, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So we made it out to our first location in Lamington. I had to limit myself with the recording on the way up because for some reason the footage that I took today, it brought my battery on my Osmo down to 50%, which is a little bit strange, a little bit suspicious because I only took about 5 minutes worth of footage. But anyway, we're at our first photo location. The Osmo is back to fully charged thanks to Julian here. He lent me his power bank, so luckily we'll actually be able to have a video today. So I'm using the new IR chrome filter that I mentioned before, and I'm just framing up a photo which I've taken in the past. So I'll show you what it looks like. You'll probably recognize it from my Instagram, but I've still yet to show it in a video. And what I've got framed up here is just this scene here with these two trees in a V shape, and just below it I have the line bringing you into the composition of the tree root right there. And on the back of the camera with the IR chrome filter on, the colors have gone pretty wacky. So what we have here is the same scene but in infrared light, where it's suddenly become orange all along the leaves, and the branch going in has retained a little bit of that greenness, and the fog has actually turned a nice blue color. Now I think that's due to the fact that at the moment the scene's white balance is a little bit off because it's just hard to properly set it here. Hopefully I'll be able to fix that back in Lightroom and make the scene look proper, but I think it's going to be quite a nice composition and quite a change from reality, a little bit of an abstraction. So we'll go ahead and take the shot, and hopefully it turns out nice, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Let me know what you think. This is the joy of being a landscape photographer and having a new bit of kit, and also being with a few other people. So I went ahead and taken my shot, and Julian so nicely has decided that he is also going to stick his SD card in my camera and get a photo for himself.
Oh, that's a good idea. Can I do that also?
Yeah. And now Michael's probably going to do the same thing to me, so...
I'm just going to steal it.
We're probably going to take 3 times as long to be taking these photos now, but... Might as well show them how good it is. Maybe they'll end up buying one for themselves.
I just want to move the nail photo.
But... hopefully the photo turned out nice, you guys already know. But... after this, we'll be heading off further up the border track, and hopefully getting some good photos. So I've just found the next composition for today's shoot, and I've had to break out the umbrella because the rain is sort of coming down a little bit heavy. But the main reason is that with this new filter, I'm not actually able to put the lens hood on my camera, so if I don't, the lens is just going to get soaked, and so will the filter. But what I've got framed up here is I actually, again, broke out the long lens, and I've tried to zoom in on the canopy where I have some really nice light glancing over some mossy roots up in the canopy. So I'll flip you around and I'll show you what it is. And what I've focused in on, Michael's also shooting this one, but with a wider angle lens, is just the roots right above his head that have that nice light passing through them. And on the camera, I've actually found that it might be a little bit tight. Again, I'm shooting with the IR Chrome filter at the moment, but I'm not too sure if the colors will work just with this scene. It might even be better to do it in color. But what it looks like on the back of the camera is this scene right here, where I've sort of just tried to contain all the vines in the one shot, with that one on the bottom sort of framing the rest above it. Again, I think it's a little bit too tight. I think it could be maybe even turned into a pano just by taking 2 shots, one there and one looking a bit further up. But I might do that as well. I'm still not sure on the colors with this scene. It does look a little bit crazy with the blue haze off to the left side of it. It might work out in the end, but this could end up just being an average shot, but we'll see what it turns out as. So go ahead and take this shot and then quickly pack down the camera and keep moving, because sadly with this filter, I'm also not able to put a lens cap on the camera. So I have to pack every single thing down, take the filter off the camera, put it back in the case every time I want to take a photo. Which is a bit of a pain to do, but it's going to be worth it for the photos because I think it'll turn out quite nice. So we'll snap this shot and then we'll head further down the track and find out where Julian's went, because he's went off to find something else. So just a little bit further down from where we were before, I decided I'd follow Julian off the track. He seemed to be going in search of some nice trees, and luckily he led me right to a nice composition, so I'm going to go ahead and steal it from him. All I got to do is set up the camera with the wide angle lens, and I think the composition should pretty much just be sort of a point and shoot. I did see another angle of that tree that I liked though when I was coming around the side of it, so I might come around and take that as well. But I'll show you the tree that I'm looking at, and then I'll go ahead and set up the camera because I haven't done that yet. But this is the tree right here, and what I like about it is you have this little log here pointing in at the foreground to take you into the tree, and it sort of just splays out in every direction. And then you just have this nice fog all around it, which creates a bit of atmosphere in the scene. So I'm probably going to take this with the wide angle lens, but because I have the crop sensor on my NEX7, it's probably going to be a little bit of an issue getting it wide enough, but if that's the case, I'll go ahead and just take it in the normal visible light spectrum on my Sony A7R2. But we'll go ahead, set up the camera, and I'll be with you again when we take a shot. So the camera's all set up now, and I've got to say, after I chucked the filter on that, the colors have just become insane in this scene. They absolutely look amazing and otherworldly. So I'll show you what it looks like on the back of the camera, and I think you guys will agree, it's pretty amazing. So once I put that filter on, it really changed the dynamic of the scene. I have this nice foreground here of just bushes sort of obscuring the tree and sort of framing it as well, because they create like a nice V pattern around where it is. I was thinking of using the log that's just right here that Julian's using as foreground, but honestly I don't think I need to. I've sort of angled the camera up, and I'm rather using the branch of this tree here to point you into the scene. And I think I'm at my widest at the moment at 17 millimeters, and I think it still might be just a little bit tight, So what I might do is I might just compose this as a small panorama, the same as I did for the last shot. I'm just finding that they're a bit narrow now. So I might just push it a little bit to the right this way, and possibly try and include just the end of that branch right there. I think that'll really finish the framing of the scene. But I'll go ahead and I'll take the shot now, and I'll put it up for you guys and let me know what you think. So I just went ahead and moved around to the other side of that tree, and I'm in quite the tight spot right now. So behind me I have a tree right here, and I have a bunch of branches pressing against my neck. Honestly, it feels like a bunch of leeches are just about to be crawling all over me. It's not a very fun feeling, but I found a composition that I actually quite like. And again, I think it might have to be a pano, because this lens is just not wide enough with this crop sensor camera for photography like this. So what I've got framed up here is I have this curving line leading up to the tree, then the tree pointing out in all different directions, and what I was wanting to do is just move the camera again just a little bit this way, just so that I can include the edge of that tree in the frame. Well, not that tree. Just so that I can include the edge of that tree right there in the frame, just to sort of create a closed-in scene, because right now I feel like it's just a bit too open on this side. I want something to sort of block you in and just, I guess, frame the entire scene. And sorry for the shaky camera work, it's just such a tight spot right here. But I'm probably going to shoot this as a pano, so I'll take this one now, move the camera a bit, and then, yeah. Tell me what you think. I hope it turns out as a nice photo, because I'm really liking the way that these colors are rendering with the filter on the camera. So, let's take the shot. So we're still just in the same area. We're about to head back to the trail and start walking further down the track, but I've decided I might try and take one more opportunity to capture a tree that I noticed as we walked in. So what I've put in the frame here is a tree that's sort of branching out in every direction, very similar to the one that we were taking a photo of before. But what I liked about this scene, what drew me to it, was this nice tree fern which sort of spreads out in each direction, and then the tree which almost looks like at this angle it's erupting from the tree fern. And I was really wanting to try and compose that, but the only challenge that I'm facing at the moment is the fact that my lens, again, the common theme with today is it's a bit too narrow to compose this shot, and also the fact that this tree branch right here is sort of blocking the composition. But I'll show you what it looks like on the back of the camera. I think it looks alright. I might be able to work with the scene, but this is what we have here framed up on the camera, where I just have a little bit of that tree included there. It's hard to see, but it is there. And the tree fern, which is not fully in frame, but what I really like is this nice curving pattern of that, in particular that one branch right there, which sort of just, I guess, frames the entire tree around all this lovely orange greenery. So I'm going to try and take this shot now, and I might either do, again, a pano, just angling it a little bit down just to include more of the tree fern, and maybe even a little bit up just to include more of the foggy sky. But I'll go ahead and snap this shot now, and I'll angle the camera, and I'll put up the shot for you guys to see, and let me know what you think. So we just went back onto the track and we moved up a little bit to another spot that I'm familiar with, and I've actually tried to shoot this spot before, but in the past I've just felt like the photos that I've took have been missing something. Like, they have that atmosphere and they have that nice composition to them, but they just needed that something extra. And I think that with this filter today I've actually found that something extra that they were missing. and just a bit of otherworldliness is what it was missing. So I've framed up pretty much the same composition I've shot before, but I've never actually shared this one. But just as another fun thing that happened, before I take this shot, I'll just let you know that I left my trekking poles back at the off-track spot we were at. Which means after I take this photo, I'm going to have to go all the way back down the track and quickly run through the bush to grab those trekking poles, which sort of sucks. But anyway, this composition that I've framed up. So I'll show you what it looks like on the back of the camera, because it looks quite mystical. So what I've got framed up here, and I'll brighten it up for you just so you can get an idea of what I'm looking at here, is I have this large tree on the left and the one on the right sort of framing a scene in the middle. And what I like about this scene is that it has this log running through the middle here, and up the middle of that log, you can't really see it on here because it's just a bit too bright, so I'll try and darken that down. You just have a single tree which is just sticking out the middle of that log, which is just this tree right here when it focuses. There's just a little tree right here. And then you just have the light flooding in down on the scene, and that light is contained between these two trees. So when you look at it on the back of the camera, it's just like the spotlight is passing down the middle of the frame, and the two sides just frame the whole thing really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and snap this shot. I think the white balance is a little bit off at the moment. It's a bit too blue. But we'll go ahead and we'll take the shot, and yeah, let me know what you think, because I think it'll be a really interesting shot.
And that brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I wish I could have included the entire day in one video, but by the time I got through editing it, I ended up with a 50-minute long video. So it's going to be split up into 3 parts, and you have next week to look forward to, where we'll be taking more photos of trees and actually discovering some new compositions which work really well. So stay tuned, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. And until the next one, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.